Good morning from Menominee, Wisconsin. All right, well, we got to get rolling. We're getting a little bit of a later start. I'll explain all of that when we get on the road. But let's just say that's trucking. Alright, so let's get out of the truck stop here. Tug test. We got tuggage. We're good. We're getting out of here. So why do I say it's a That's Truckin' Day again? My Smart Air, or whatever you call it, the APU's air conditioner. That was just before I went to bed. So I sent a message to the company saying I'm going to have to idle the truck. I have no choice. APU air is down. And so, yeah, we just watched a guy washing himself in the truck in the parking lot. What the heck? I mean, he was just washing his head, like getting his head wet and whatnot. But it's like, why are you dumping that much water? Just go buy yourself a spray bottle. But anyhow, judge not. So I was gonna have to let the truck idle so I could have the air conditioner running. About 15 minutes in or so, 20 minutes in, truck shuts off because apparently it was cool enough. According to, I don't know if it's the company or if it's Peterbilt. I don't know who said it for this, but apparently 27 degrees is cool enough that you don't need an air conditioner. Oh, I thought you were turning. Oh, my bad. Because he slowed down right over here. It looked like he was going to turn. I thought maybe he was just one of them truckers that doesn't use his turn signal. Lots of them out there. So yeah, we're just gonna head down. Head down the highway here. It is a very, very smoky day. You know, and I was inside the Quick Trip. We were just chatting, and one guy says, "You know, I remember when we didn't have forest fires every year." When was that? When did we never have forest fires in a year? Fact of the matter is, forest fires are a natural occurrence. They happen every single summer. People are just getting upset about it now more as something to be upset about, I think. And I don't mean that, you know, they don't have the right to complain that it's smoky outside, or, you know, that it's not a struggle to live. No. There's a difference. Okay, you can complain and whine, or you can actively do something to try to make your situation better, because you're not going to get rid of the smoke. Which would it be? In recent time, the year that we had the fewest forest fires, the most calm forest fire season in decades, was in 2020, when humans stayed home because of a lockdown. So you have to wonder, how many of the fires in Canada and the US are naturally started? You know, lightning, just bad dry conditions with a heat wave. Oh boy, that's hot. I'm awake. And how many of those forest fires are started by people? Now, I know a lot of people think, well, it's people going out there and they're starting the fires on purpose, or they're just being careless. And that is true to a point. But we also have to remember, like, they're human too. They could have followed every single rule and step to ensure they didn't have a forest fire, except for one little piece. Maybe an ember got away from their notice and starts a fire. Oh, dude, that was my mirror you almost took. Dude, look at him. And now he's going to weave right onto the bumper of that car. What is that guy doing? I'm going to slow down here. I don't want to be anywhere near that guy. And I feel really bad for the car whose bumper he's riding. Jeez, see what we get to see out here? It's not just the cars that are crazy. I'll give you $20. Bet you that guy, he's on his cell phone. Either like this, or with his headset, and he's sitting there yelling at somebody. Stop here in Oakdale, Wisconsin to grab a coffee. I know, I already had a coffee, but I decided I wanted more. Do a quick 6-pack. Well, that was weird. I applied the brakes and I kept pumping, but the brakes stayed on while I made the second and third pump. in. Oh, you know what? I got it. There we go. Now we gotta build up the air pressure again. What happened was I added in drive because I was going to just go and do a tug test, and then I thought, as an afterthought, while I was talking to you, you know what, let's do a quick 6-pack, make sure everything's aligned. And so when I push and hold the brake, because this is an automatic, it's got what it's called hill assist braking. Now I could have turned that off, wouldn't have had the problem. Instead I just shifted to neutral, I still don't have the problem. But what it does is it applies, when you make a full brake application, it holds that brake application. And it'll hold it until you start to accelerate again. Then it'll release it. This way, if you're up on an uphill and you go to apply the accelerator, it holds the truck in place. Whereas before they had that, you had to be using both feet, one on the brake, one on the accelerator, start revving it up. You know, it was a pain. Still a pain if you don't realize. All right, we got air. Come on, spit for me. We have air. Air dryer wet as I was speaking. Now let's check on the tuggage. Got tuggage, and that felt good. All right, brakes just grabbed right on. And since I already know from this morning that everything was aligned, I know that when they grabbed on, that they're still aligned. And quite frankly, most DOT, if you pull in and you got everything done good and one of your brakes is slightly out of adjustment, they'll just tell you to go do a 6-pack. If it goes back in adjustment on one 6-pack, they're likely to just go, you know what, okay, don't worry about it. It probably fell out of adjustment, you know, while you were driving through construction, stop and go traffic, stuff like that. It's when you pull up and you've got all your brakes are pretty much out of alignment. And at the same time, if you've got some pretty big violations, so I won't say major, but let's say brakes out of alignment, I don't know, a few smaller ones, they're likely to let go of some of it and just hit you with those ones. Which is great and nice for someone like me, should I pull in and, oh crap, I got a violation. It can happen. It doesn't matter how good of a professional, how professional you are. You can do your job all of the time. Wow. All these trucks trying to get over. That fucking car, that SUV up front, sat next to Liberty there. Just sat right beside him. And that was was that a Western Star? I think it might have been a Western Star, or it could have been a Kenworth W900 or W990. I wasn't focused too much on the truck, but either way, I know they got plenty of signal on the side of the truck. That car should have known with all the lights he wants to move over. You can also see me trying to merge. The trucks all started to move over so that I can merge onto the highway. They don't have to slow down. They can just, right past me. Welcome to Wisconsin. Four-wheeler hell. Look it up. Look it up on YouTube. Four-wheeler hell. It's good music. Good song. I call it South Beloit, but what do they actually call it here? Roscoe, Illinois. Ooh, Roscoe. I love it, I love it, I love it. If you know, you know. Anyway, stopped here at the Loves to do my 30-minute break. I'm about to do a quick circle check, make sure everything's good. And then we're going to head on down to Gary, Indiana, where we'll get some fuel because it's the last approved fuel stop. And then we'll continue on the way, and I don't know what we're going to do with for fuel after that. I guess we'll see. I had warned the company that micromanaging us is only causing more stress for the drivers, more worries, more uncertainty. But what do I know? I'm just a driver. Anyways, I'm going to finish this 30-minute break. I'm going to have some of my grapes and coffee. We'll see you when we hit the road. Okay, we got our fuel here in Gary. Now we need to get the hell out of here. Ah, shoot. And to do that, it's very important to have the keys. Oh, I'm dropping money. Alright, getting out of here is going to be fun. This place is busy. It almost always is. Come on, I wasn't doing a brake check yet, or a tug test yet. There we go. Look at that. Do a little tug test and all my sensors go off. By that I mean forward motion sensor and all that stuff just shut off. It's back, but it shut off. Oh, Bison's here. Shouldn't be surprised. So this place is just really weird to get in and out of. I don't normally fuel up here. I normally go to Michigan City, but we won't be going by Michigan City. So the entry and exit are kind of one and the same. All the fuel islands are here to the right. Okay? And there's no lineup. He's going to go over that way. Heil's going to go the other way. So trucks coming in to go to the parking, and trucks going to the fuel island, and the trucks trying to exit, all have to compete for this driveway. Right now, with where I'm at, isn't a problem. I'm not blocking anybody. Problem comes when other trucks are trying to leave and they all line up behind me, and then the guys trying to get in are all blocked. What's the solution? The solution is Love's needs to switch their pumps around, like turn them around. I know that's huge money right there. And it'll affect their parking. Because I think they would have to get rid of some of the parking spots. But it's the only way I could see of. Other than that, the other option is open a new entrance and exit. Or a new exit, actually. If everybody would go out, there is a little roadway back here that they could set up as their exit, but you'd only be able to turn right. You wouldn't be able to turn left. If they could have a different exit, then I think that would work. The other option, and those who are familiar with Tim Hortons would understand this. The entry lane turned into an exit. The exit lane, where I went out, turned into the entry. It's reversed, and Tim Hortons does that so that people can turn in and go straight for the drive-through, right? And it works. But they don't get the same kind of traffic. Alright, we're taking 65 south. We're not going to be making Eaton, Ohio. There's no way. It's 4 hours. I'm awake, my friend. I'm awake. Did you hear his Jake? Yeah. That's what my future truck will sound like. Anyway, Eaton, Ohio is 4 hours away, and we only have 3 hours and 43 minutes left to the logbook. There's just no way. And if I hit... We lost so much time. I think it took us probably 2 hours to get through Chicago area. Because of the construction and because of dumb people. People who ride in that left lane all the way up, they need exit whatever, exit 292. They run that lane all the way until they pass 291, and then they have to jump all the lanes to get over. Cut everybody off, force their way over. It's bad enough we are all slow doing the construction, but now you're just wedging yourself in. Inconsiderate. Also, I don't know if I got it on video, but I had several cars drive up the shoulder to get ahead of everybody because they're important, Yeah, those are the princesses. They got places to be. They're late for yoga. Either that or they're just, guys who think they're just too cool. And they're, I gotta get home and open a beer. Call of Duty's waiting, man. The dailies ain't gonna complete themselves. So yeah, it took forever to get through. part of the reason why I'd hoped to, get a really good start yesterday. Get as close to Black River Falls as I could. I would have been up and gone again at like 4 in the morning. And shoot, we would have been through here early afternoon. I mean, where we fueled up was Gary, Indiana, so. But even this area, like this still it's all very busy metropolitan area. Of course, then I got to the truck stop. There wasn't an available pump, so I had to sit in line. I get behind Havor, I believe is the name of the company, Havor. And he's pulling a flatbed. And that guy, he's sitting there fueling. And while he's fueling, he walks off with his dog. He wasn't fueling. He tried to make it look like he was fueling. He only had one pump in the tank. And when he came back, he just grabbed it and hung it up. Well, if you fuel these trucks up, you know that the pump will shut off on its own once the fuel gets to a certain level. Once the fuel starts to go above the nozzle. But you're not full yet. You're close to full, and you just pull the handle or the nozzle out, squeeze the trigger again, and let it fill up the last few gallons. That will probably put another 20 gallons in your tanks. 10 to 20. So he walks back with his dog, gets his dog into the truck, puts the pump away, made it look like he was fueling. Karma, however, in front of him was a bus that had already fueled up. And it was now pulled up and parked. And by bus, I'm talking about like big, huge coach. Could have been an RV. Or it could have been a coach bus. I don't know. And that guy was inside. And we were sitting there for quite a while because now the Havor truck can't get out. He's stuck there. I can't get into the fuel island. I'm stuck there. So that went on we were there for about 5 minutes. But then the truck in the fuel island to my left finished fueling and he pulled up. I had nobody behind me. There was nobody else waiting for the pump, so I scooted on over. Because I figured at least then Havor, if you wanted to, could try to back up. Keep in mind, you're backing up to an entrance off of main road. So it's chancy. I backed up, I don't know, 50 feet or so just so I could swing over and get into the other pump. I quickly fueled up. The guy that was ahead of me, he had stopped. And he ran in to get some food. And I was about to walk inside and just take care of my business and then get back out there, figuring this is just another one of those drivers, probably doing a half-hour break in the fuel island. But I only got maybe 20 feet away when that driver showed up. Okay, no problem. So I pull up, run inside, grabbed a couple of things, ran back out. I don't think I was in there for more than 8 minutes, maybe 10 at most, 10 at the absolute most. the truck that had pulled into the fuel pump behind me, I don't think wanted fuel. Because when I came out, he didn't have any of the hoses in his tanks. And there sure as hell wasn't enough time that had gone by, because when I went inside, he hadn't pulled up to the pump yet. So that not enough time had gone by for him to have fueled up already. So, one of two things. He's either one of those drivers that will just pull up like that and then go inside and block off a fuel lane, or because nobody will get mad at him, you know, he might be blocking a fuel lane, but he'll be like, yeah, there's a guy in front of me, and yeah, nice. But the other option is, or the other possibility is he swiped his card, or maybe he's paying with a credit card. You have to actually go inside to do that. You can't just do it at the pump. So that one may be a little more likely. There was a guy at the fuel desk as I was leaving, waiting for some sort of authorization or something like that. So maybe that's who it was. Either way, we are back on the highway, rolling, getting cut off by cars. Everybody going slow. Speed limit 65. Barely do 60 here.